Art has the power to move us, bridge culture, challenge perspectives, and shed light on truths that can otherwise go unseen. Through cinema, we not just witness stories unfold, but we also experience emotions, history, culture, and oftentimes questions that linger on long after the credits have rolled. But a powerful storytelling does not always come without friction. Oftentimes, it invites controversies, criticisms, and stirs debate. This year at the Kathmandu International Mountain Film Festival, a new category called Shizang Panorama was introduced with the intention to tell stories about Tibet and from Tibet. However, it has placed the film festival itself at an intersection of culture, history, and geopolitics. Joining us today at Kantipur News Talk is an acclaimed Chinese filmmaker who has strongly navigated through these intersections itself. Join me in welcoming from China. Welcome to Kantipur News Talk.
Thank you.
How has Kathmandu weather greeted you since you landed here?
Actually, I really like the weather. I like the moisture and also the hot weather. I really like it because in Beijing, in winter, it's really cold. So I like hot weather. Yeah.
You're joining us as one of the jury members at Kathmandu International Mountain Film Festival. How many movies have you managed to get through so far? Are there any favorite picks of yours so far?
Yeah, we have watched more than like 40 movies or 30 movies. Yeah. It's quite interesting actually. You watch the movies, you talk to the other jury members, and also they are from the other parts of the world. I think it's more like an international team, and we discuss the movie together. I think it's quite interesting process.
Are there any favorite picks? Are there any one or a few movies that has really moved you?
Yeah, there's one movie called Bird with Different Feather. I really like that one. I think it's made by an Indian team, and it's an Indian movie. The most important thing interests me is it looks like it's talking about a story about little girl, but actually it's talk about life. It's talk about how people searching for their identity, their ego, how to deal with the whole world, how to get connection with the other people. I think it has some kind of like philosophical thinking behind the movie. I really like it. Yeah.
So does that sound some potential of a winner?
It's a secret. Yeah.
When you judge a film, what are the criteria that you put into consideration?
There are a lot of criteria like directing and music, pacing, structure, logic, and also cinematography. Yeah, that kind of standards. We are judging it by, we have to tick all the boxes.
As an outsider, let's say, someone who's interested to know how the juries judge a film, how do you evaluate a movie? How do you mark it? How many of you mark it?
I think the most important standard is to move your audience, make your audience moved. Yeah. The best movie is to touch the people, in some way, to make you have the same kind of feelings. Yeah, that's the most important thing.
So when you mentioned about all the criteria earlier, are there any order of preference or priority, some aspect of the movie on top and the others at the bottom?
For me, I think the most important thing I'm looking for is a good story. A good film equals to a good story. And the way how you tell the story is really important. So I mainly focused on directing, script writing, yeah.
There has been a lot of technological advancements from the way we filmed before, decades ago, and now we've advanced a lot, right?
Yes.
So how do you think that has changed the way filmmaking is done today? And there's also artificial intelligence now.
Yeah.
So how do you think that is impacting the overall filmmaking experience?
Yes, I think the film industry is always developing, As you mentioned, the AI is involved in filmmaking, even in documentary filmmaking. But in my opinion, personally, I think AI, I think it's a little bit too early to talk about AI to make a real film, I think AI emerging maybe will lead to another way, that is make the real movie, the real director directing movie more valuable. And because people are seeking for the reality, the real movie. And I think because AI is too quick, and for a director, it takes them maybe years to produce a movie. But for AI, it just takes click to make some kind of, a short movie or something. So I think maybe in the long term, the real movie will be more valuable, and people are seeking for the real things, Yeah.
As a filmmaker, you've made films for quite some time now. You probably have done it all by your hands, made the storyboards as well. But now a lot of makers are also exploring fully AI written scripts. How does it make you feel as a filmmaker?
I don't actually feel comfortable to do that because I think it's fake. For example, the documentary film, I think the key is truth and reality. We are seeking truth. We want to see the real things, right? The real feelings, the emotions, and the emotion you can't fake it. It's real inside, and people's communication, the emotion are there. So that is AI can't take place. I think AI may be just a tool to help you, but you can't really rely on AI to produce a film. I think it's a professional way to do that.
Now coming back to KIMFF, there was a section, new category introduced this year, Shizang Panorama.
Yes.
The intention was to showcase film about Tibet, but it has also invited criticism and condemnation from Tibetan filmmakers. They have demanded in fact, to withdraw the entire category. What's your take on it?
I think it's quite normal to have different voices exist. It's a normal thing because people have different perspectives and different opinions. And also I think KIMFF is a very tolerant platform, and actually they provided a very good chance for people who really cares about Shizang to have the chance to know more about Shizang. Yeah, just come and have a look, and then you can decide whether you want to criticize or you want to agree. Yeah.
What do you think is the reason behind the criticism?
I think because they have little knowledge about Shizang. If they go to Shizang, they visit Shizang, they say the development, they say how people live there, I think they will have different opinions. Yeah. Because I just came from Lhasa last week, arrived here, and I think Lhasa is a very beautiful city right now. It's a mixture of modern and the tradition, and people have more choices. They can choose traditional life and they can choose modern life, especially for the young people. They are connected to the world. I think it's a great place. Yeah. Yes, just to go and have a look about the Shizang Panorama and to know more about it. It's a really good chance, And also, film is a universal language. It's a vehicle, it's an important vehicle for people to experience. So it's better to look at, how the other people create their films and to know more about the place. I think KIMFF and also Nepal is has very tolerant culture. It's quite normal for people to have different voices. It's really a normal thing. So, and it's also a good thing, I think, to have different voices exist. But I really hope that we can invite more people to watching our documentary film. I think the film, they are very brilliant, they are good.
I'm not sure if you know, but a lot of our younger generation in here, and even myself, we really love Chinese dramas, Chinese films. It's growing in here.
Thank you.
Do young generations in your country also admire Chinese drama, Chinese films?
Yeah, of course, yeah. Because the Chinese film industry and also the soap opera industry is also growing very fast. And the younger generation in China, I think they are not only like watching, but they are producing, you know, because they are grown up in a very open and free environment, and they're hungry about knowledge, about artistic expressions, and they have their own way to produce films, even the short ones. Yeah. And as you mentioned, the AI is developing, so it's easy for someone to produce a film even with the phone. So I think it's a good way because everyone can express their opinions. Yeah.
A lot of good stories have also been shot on mobile phones. What do you think of the difference? Because when we imagine a good movie, it's good cinematography as well, right? So how do you see the two different stories?
I think, yeah, it's quite different. For the cinema, I think people have to, you have to have some time to share with your family or with your friends, to just sit down in a very quiet place in a cinema to enjoy the movie. I think everyone needs that kind of, leisure time. But on the phone, I think maybe most of the time we are using the phone to get information, to know, to see the news, or maybe watch the short clips. That's also for quick consumption. They are quite different. It's a different way of consuming films. Yeah.
You must have met many filmmakers here. Do you think there are potential of collaboration between Chinese filmmakers and Nepali filmmakers?
Yeah, of course, of course. I met a lot of production team these days, even around the world, and everyone is talking about cooperation, is talking about, they are fascinating, I think, to say all the films around the world, and it's we're all quite honored and happy to join this KIMFF festival, and cooperation is a way that we can find to develop and to make the film better, I think. Yeah, maybe in the future, I hope there's close ties between the Nepal and Chinese film production teams. Yeah.
Does any story or issue interest you in Nepal that you yourself would want to film?
Interesting stories?
Yeah.
I think maybe I can stay here for longer. I can find a story. But when I walk on the busy street, I see the buildings around here, their styles are quite different. But if you put them together, it's kind of like interesting mixture. And I saw the beautiful girls like you in Nepal, and I think there must be interesting stories going on in a building. It's happening every minute. So I think Nepal is a very good place to find good stories. I hope, in the future, maybe one day we can work together to produce a film about Nepal and China.
As a filmmaker, what kind of stories most interest you? What kind of stories you dream about making, or what kind of stories tick your heart?
It's difficult to say, because if you didn't encounter that story, you didn't know the stories, it's quite difficult to say. Because as a filmmaker, I think we're always on the road. To find a good story is a difficult thing. But when you find it, at that moment, it touches you, it's right. Yeah.
Lastly, for aspiring and young filmmakers that are watching our conversation, what advice would you want to give to them to become an excellent filmmaker?
I think I will give them 3 words. Travel, observe and experience, because good stories comes from, like I mentioned before, on the road. You have to travel a lot to experience different cultures and to see how people live and to understand them. Because I think human beings, we share the same feelings and emotions, and it's quite important to touch that in your film production process. And you can, if you can find a good story, that's the most important start.
Yinqi Chen, thank you so much for being on Kantipur News Talk.
Thank you.